All right, hopefully you're having a great Saturday. I have a big update from the National Weather Service. They have confirmed 8 tornadoes touched down on Thursday as a result of Tropical Storm Arthur, that severe weather outbreak. 4 tornadoes happened in Houma, 1 in Avondale, the 1 in Orleans Parish that went through the city towards LSUNO. We had another one near Slidell and Eden Isles that went from St. Tammany Parish into Hancock County, and we had another in Hancock County that went into Harrison County. All EF1 tornadoes. The National Weather Service is still analyzing the damage that happened in Eden Isles. They may uncover more tornadoes that happened on Thursday. We will see more updates to come with that. But the strongest tornado we had on that day was the EF1 that happened in St. Tammany Parish with 105-mile-per-hour winds. But the other EF1s, 90 to 95-mile-per-hour winds. So we had extensive damage for parts of the area because of the severe weather, not to mention the extreme and record rainfall for South Mississippi and extreme flooding and rainfall across Slidell into St. Tammany Parish, river parishes down the bayou in the metro area, Jefferson Parish, Orleans Parish. So much rain, so much damage. And of course, it's really hot and humid, so people that are doing all the damage cleanup are going to want to take care of themselves this weekend because the heat continues. Also, this is on Thursday, so then on Friday we had storms set up over the metro area too. The National Weather Service is also investigating today what happened in Araby and Chalmette and St. Bernard Parish last night. Just before 6 o'clock, we had a big storm set up, and this is what it looked like live on radar at 5:52 in the evening on Friday. You can see that classic hook signature where there's rotation and a likely tornado that touched down in Araby and moved towards Chalmette. That's the tornado warning that the NWS issued last night, just a couple minutes before 6 o'clock. So they're also checking this out to see if it was in fact a tornado. It was definitely a funnel cloud that you saw in all the videos that people sent in. There was a lot of damage, likely a very brief tornado that touched down. So we're going to get the information with that sometime today. So that's 2 big updates. Also, another thing happening, yes, it's very hot. It's very muggy and oppressively steamy outside. So for those cleaning up the damage and doing all that today, you want to make sure you're taking extra breaks, drinking plenty of water, taking care of yourself, really try not to overdo it. Of course, you want to get things done as soon as possible, but it's just very sticky and oppressively humid and hot outside. We do have some clouds rolling in, which will help a bit. We've got storms, too, in the forecast, which is why. But yeah, so we have a heat advisory from noon until 6 p.m. today for the entire area. Feels like temperatures in the triple digits in the 100s. Could feel up to maybe 108 in a couple spots. Not everywhere, but it is going to be hot and muggy. Here we go. We got storms coming in across the Gulf Coast again. We had storms last night. We had flash flood warnings last night across South Mississippi because of the heavy rain and the grounds being so saturated there, beyond saturated, because they got some spots picked up over 15 inches of rain on Thursday, and then we got several inches last night. And here we go with another complex of storms. So this is early on your Saturday. We've had storms come in from north to south on your Saturday morning. They continue to progress southward on your Saturday afternoon, and we're going to have storms across our part of the Gulf Coast this afternoon. So we'll get into the timing of that in just a minute. I just want to give you a snapshot of the entire weekend because tomorrow is Father's Day. Tomorrow is the first day of the summer season, astronomical summer. The summer solstice is tomorrow. We got a couple other things going on. Temperatures are in the low 90s today and tomorrow. It's going to be hot and humid. Scattered storms in the forecast today, like I mentioned, and there's going to be a flooding risk too, and a couple stronger storms are possible today as well. But it's looking better tomorrow. I think there's going to be less rain in the forecast for tomorrow for Father's Day. But here's the timing of the storms today. We get into the afternoon, after lunchtime, we have showers and storms setting up across the area. Flooding is going to be a concern, again, because the ground is just so saturated. We get these heavy showers again. Leftover tropical moisture can give us some downpours. We're watching for flooding today. We're watching for a couple stronger storms that could produce wind gusts up to maybe 50 to 60 miles per hour. There's a low risk of severe weather today, actually, as these storms develop this afternoon. And they will continue into the evening. Even into later tonight, we'll start to see a few storms drop farther to the south, even going into this mid to late evening hours. But by later tonight, like closer to 10 p.m., 10 p.m., we should be mostly done with the storms. We should be fairly quiet overnight. The models have been going back and forth about what's happening tomorrow. For 2 days in a row now, we're showing some storms still lingering on Sunday morning. We will see. This is early tomorrow morning, like 5, 6 a.m. There is a possibility we could have some early morning showers and storms, but I think we're going to start drying up as the day progresses tomorrow. And I think tomorrow afternoon and evening, we're not going to have that much rain around. Could have a couple isolated showers, maybe a few storms later in the day tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's less rain tomorrow as our pattern starts to change and we do get to dry out in the coming days, starting really in the new work week is when we really start to dry out. Here's our risk of flooding today. It's a slight risk, a level 2 out of 4 for most of the area. Again, flooding is going to be something we're watching for, no doubt about it. Here's an update on the river levels. Another good thing is that all of our bodies of water on the North Shore and South Mississippi, the rivers, the creeks have already crested. They are falling too, but the West Hoblachita Creek and the Pearl River are still at a moderate flood stage. Also, the Jordan River, East Hoblachita in a minor flood stage, and Chafuncta and Tangipahoa also in minor flood stage. So this is good, but however, if we get more heavy rain today, these bodies of water may start to rise a bit again. So we're going to have to watch this too, but positive sign on that front as things start to come down and slowly get back to normal. But here we go. We've got lots of tropical moisture overhead today. That's why we've got the risk for some flooding and heavy rain. But then that moisture starts to disperse and high pressure builds in a bit from the south. And we'll get some drier air actually moving in across the Gulf Coast as we go into the next several days, starting Monday. And then we get into the latter part of the week, we could be under the influence more of an upper trough, a little bit more moisture coming in periodically. So there will be some fluctuations to how much rain we get this week, maybe a little bit more rain possible on Thursday at this point. That could change. But really the big picture is that our rain chances are not going to be that high. Generally, we are going to be drying out going into the new work week. So here's your 7-day forecast. Weather impact alert for your Saturday because we've got storms today, afternoon and evening, heavy rain, a couple stronger ones with wind gusts being the top thing to look out for, lightning, downpours. Otherwise, it's going to be hot and humid too. Tomorrow for Father's Day, hot and muggy again, feeling like the triple digits in the afternoon. Not as much rain in the forecast. Then here's your work week. More sun. Not much rain, but more heat. We're probably going to reach the mid-90s in the afternoon. Still going to be humid, so our feels like temperature is probably going to get above 105 degrees, probably get close to 110 every afternoon this week. So that's the other thing. We're getting into the summer months, and we know what it feels like, and it's going to be hot this week, but at least we get to dry out for several days. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to bring you the latest on what the National Weather Service finds when it comes to the damage survey in St. Bernard Parish for Arabi and Chalmette. We'll let you know at some point today. As soon as we get that information, we will push it out to you. And, of course, we will be back for the WWL Louisiana News this evening. Thanks for watching.